Welcome back to Dreaming of Fae Tarot. This is Ayuri, and today we're going to be going over the next section of the Sacred Web Tarot. We're going to be doing, coincidentally, we're going to be doing the water element. And the water element, as we all know, is associated with the moon. So happy full moon. Our first card is going to be the Oracle. In the Rider-Waite deck, it is called the High Priestess. The Oracle is about reverence, an understanding for the sacred mysteries, and a holding of space for the sacred. Okay? Again, the element is air, the direction is west. So all of these cards are going to have the water element. They're all going to be associated with the west. The astrological association of the oracle is the moon. The stone is selenite. The yoga pose is lotus pose. The chakra is sacral. The mantra is VAM, V-A-M. The image is a lotus flower over a peacock. And its affirmation is, in reverence, I recognize that I am always in the presence of the sacred. Our next card, number 7, is the Chariot. It is about assessment. It's about a time to reflect on yourself and situation so you can move forward for the better. It is associated with Cancer, the astrological sign. Its stone is black onyx. Its yoga pose are downward dog and upward facing dog. The sacral chakra is the chakra that it is associated with. And the sacred sound or mantra is VAM. Its image is two huskies looking up at a web with starlight around it. So this is a web. At first when I saw this, I thought it was a bone in the air. But no, when you look closer, it's a web. And its affirmation is, I am at peace with my body and my mind and my spirit, soul, ready to assess the way forward. I really like that this deck has affirmations so that even if you're not understanding the context of the information it gives for the backstory or the meaning of each card, it goes ahead, it gives you a keyword, and then it also gives you that affirmation, and that affirmation just ties it all together so beautifully. The next card we have is the Reflection. The Reflection is also the Hanged Man in the Rider-Waite system. It's about consideration, or it's about being still, being centered. It's about what is bringing you from your sacred center. So it gives you that question of what is taking you from your sacred center and and then it also is about bringing a different perspective and thus reflection. It's associated with Neptune. Its stone is pearl. Its yoga pose is standing forward bend. The sacral chakra and VAM are associated with this card. Its imagery are one octopus looking at its mirror reflection in a body of water. And then all of the other things around it is pretty much just, reflections of, it could either be the sky or the fish, depending on how you want to look at it. There's no real up or down to these cards, so that's great. I mean, there's an up, but I like how the reflective cards have the black and white to show the shadow and the light. Because again, this deck is meant to be a deck used for shadow work and self-love work and just inner work in general. This deck is more meant to be used for yourself and self-reflection as opposed to reading for others. So we have our next card, which is the Release. Release is normally in the Rider-Waite deck called Death. This is about a time, bringing on a time of change, literal release of things, letting go for your betterment. Just as, any death cycle is, you're letting go of one thing so that another thing can be brought on. This is associated with the sign of Scorpio. It's associated with diamond and or white jade. It is associated with corpse pose, the sacral chakra, the mantra of Vam. As you can see in the picture, there's a lotus seed that turns into a lotus with an infinity symbol underneath it showing that the cycle moves on. It's always moving on. Its affirmation is, I release everything that no longer serves. We have our next card is card number 18, which is the Moon. And at first when I saw this, I saw a crab and I thought, okay, Cancer. But no, this is actually associated with Pisces. It's associated with Moonstone. It's associated with the half moon pose. Again, the sacral chakra and the mantra of Vam. The moon is about surrender. It's about trusting your inner guide or intuition. It's about letting your emotions free and surrendering into being your true self. As you can see, we have a mountainside, two mountains, if meeting together with a crab, looking up at the moon over a body of water. And this affirmation for this card is, I surrender to the truth that only in being present to this moment can I drink into the freedom that I seek. My handwriting was a little scribbly there. Whew. Now we get into the actual water of suit. Now, all the cards that are water cards in this deck, including the ones I just showed you, they are carrying yin energy. Yin being the receiving energy as opposed to yang being the giving energy. It's associated with the sacral chakra and the mantra of Vam. These cards that represent water element are tied to healing and creativity, to feelings, and overall, they're the emotional suit of the deck. So on to the Ace of Water. The Ace of Water is about beauty and beauty from compassion and empathy. It is an image of a pelican next to a lotus flower that's blooming out of a lotus cup. So all of the cups in this deck, let's see if we can get this a little closer. All the cups in this deck are little lotuses on the top, right there. And then we have a lotus crown on top of the pelican. And as we have mentioned before, lotuses are symbols of enlightenment. So emotional enlightenment or just overall enlightenment. So, again, this one is about beauty and empathy. And its affirmation is true beauty springs from my compassionate heart. Next, we have the two of water, which is about union, creative partnership, taking risk to join a partnership. Its image is a single zebra walking through black and white contrasting background with a lotus over it. Its affirmation for this card is in sacred union with all the facets of myself, I find serenity. Three of Cups is about celebration. This one doesn't stray too far from the Rider-Waite meaning, as most decks built off of the Rider-Waite system, you see three jolly ladies or three jolly men holding up wine glasses and dancing, all celebrating in some beauty that has happened. So, again, this one's about celebration. If we look at the image, we have in this blue right here, we have a bird, and it looks pretty jolly. We have a happy alligator, and then we have a little fish down here that's also very happy. And they're all celebrating in the fact that none of them are eating each other. And I thought that was great. The affirmation is I celebrate the gifts of my life, especially the gift of friendship. Our next card is the Four of Water. It is about rest from your efforts. So it's basically saying that you have made so much effort at this time having to do with whatever your situation is, that you need to rest and look back over what you've done so far so that you can move forward without being overburdened, without having burnout. So this is the card of anti-burnout. And as you see in the image, we've got a scorpion right there. And the scorpion is going down a branch, and it has on both of its stingers lotus flowers reaching from it. So normally those stingers would be used to attack and protect, or attack other creatures to protect itself with. And this card, it's showing that they're being taken over by lotus flowers as a way to show that it has gained the knowledge of when it needs to attack and when it needs to rest. So rest. This card's affirmation is I rest in the knowledge that I already have within me everything that I need. So that kind of brings us back to how the having everything that you need, that is brings us back to the magician type card, which shows that again you have all the elements within you to manifest what you need. And in the cups right here, this is showing you have everything you need to build your foundation, to move on from your foundation, but you just need to relax so that you can move forward in peace. We have next our Five of Cups, which is about forgiveness. It's forgiveness for yourself so that you have time to heal from what sorrows or things that ail you. The image is of a uh, sorrowful looking dog, sad looking dog, underneath the lotus cups and the lotus flower. Its affirmation is, I choose to lift my eyes and drink from the forgiveness cup. So as you see, these cups are going into each other, and they're calling this one the forgiveness cup. This by far is going to be one of my favorite cards that I've seen so far. And this is the Six of Cups. It's a mama giraffe and a baby giraffe under the moon. And in this card, you see generosity and grace. The generosity and grace, as you can see, just the love that comes from this. It's even got the pink coloring around as an aura for the mama and the baby. And that's just letting you know that to give yourself grace, to give others generosity, to just be able to take in love and give love appropriately. This card has an affirmation of, the practice of generosity expands my heart and my capacity to love. The Seven of Cups, or the Seven of Water. If I've been saying cups this whole time, please just understand. I meant to say water. So the Seven of Water is about opportunity, careful assessment, and just being careful with how you move forward in relationships and things of that sort. The image is two fish, which you see in the middle, right about there. Oh, right there. And the two fish are in yin yang style in the middle of flowering cups with open flowers here. And its affirmation is, I create opportunity when I make the time for reflection. I love how some of these cards have traditional meanings and some of them have meanings that are completely different, like it's a completely different system. And what I'm thinking is the people who created this deck, they must have studied multiple different modalities or different types of tarot decks to be able to bring it all together so beautifully. And as you can see, there's Hindu influence, there's Rider-Waite influence in some of them. Yeah, so just had to have that moment. I had to geek out for a second. On to, we are at the Eight of Water. And the Eight of Water is about trust and moving with trust that everything will be okay. And let's see, what do we have here? In the picture, we have a long-tailed widow bird. Isn't that beautiful? Its affirmation for this card is, I trust that wherever the journey leads me, I am ready to spread my wings and fly. Next, we have the Nine of Water. And the Nine of Water is about contentment. And when I was looking at this card, this is what I saw. I saw a hippo singing up at the flower in the starlight. So it looks like, I guess most people would see this hippo with its mouth open, looking like it's about to eat the flower that's in the sunlight or the starlight. But it looks to me like it's singing in happiness, just in joy of being a little hippo. So, with that, its affirmation is I bathe in the feelings of contentment that rise up from within. And the Ten of Cups, or Ten of Water, is a beautiful, beautiful whale. And this whale is leaping up into the sky from the water in joy because that looks like a happy, happy whale. And this card is about blessings, blessings that rain down on you that you can then share with others and your family and your friends, and the peace and joy that comes with the fact that you know that you have enough, that your cup runneth over, as they say. As they say. All right. Our affirmation for this card is I am a blessing from the spirits, here to give thanks for the beauty in this world. Onto the student of water. The student of water is going to be associated with the page of water, or the page of cups. It is about imagination. It's about joy, joyous, youthful happiness and wonder. This student of water could be your inner child just wanting to play. Or if you do choose to use this deck for others, it could represent um, a person who carries those attributes. This card is associated with the elements of earth and water. It's associated with the West. Its image is a bird landing in sorry, landing in and splashing in water or a pool or a puddle, feathers dripping from the sky. So just again, you see a bird, what do children like to do? Jump through puddles. So when I see this card, I just think of a small child having the best day of their life in a rainstorm, just running through puddles, getting as dirty as possible, just loving life. So that's the energy for this card. The uh, the affirmation is the word I'm looking for. The affirmation for this card is my imagination and my dreams create a world that is full of magic and meaning. Next, we have our scout of water. The scout of water is about mercy, sensitivity as a gift. Creativity, beauty, and magic can transform difficulty to understanding. Uh, the Scout of Water is associated with the elements of air and water. Again, it's associated with the West. It's got the Varada Mudra. Its image is two hands with water running through them from an upside down lotus, with the cosmic sky behind it. A practice of our affirmation is a practice of mercy helps me to let go of judgment so that I can fill my heart with love. We have our source of water, which would associate with the Queen of Cups. The source of water is about peace. It's about inner peace and peace in your environment. It is a water and water element card, so it is a double water. It is associated with the West. Its image is Bharata Mudra, dripping water, and the moon below it. So this is the moon. Through the healing wisdom of my intuition, I cultivate deep peace, is the affirmation for this card. And our last card for this week's deep dive is going to be the Seer of Water. Of course, that would be the King of Cups. Our Seer of Water is about empathy and the alchemical power of empathy and compassion. It has to do with the water and fire elements and is associated with the West. Its image is a face crying and a rose below the face, catching the tears, a cosmic sky behind and around the face. Its affirmation is empathy is a gift that has the power to heal the world. And on that note, may you have a beautiful week. I'll see you next week with our next installment of the Sacred Web Tarot study. If you would like to get a personal reading from me, I do have an Etsy shop, and I will put the link to that below. And I will see you soon. Thank you.